Hey, welcome back everybody. Today I'm going to do a installation of a rear main seal on a one-piece Chevrolet block, these were made from about 1986 through 2001, the TBI and the vortec era. This is the seal housing. You've also got a rear main seal. This is our new seal out of the package. You've got a gasket that goes between the seal housing and the block here. It's important that that goes on. But specifically what I want to talk about is how to get this seal centered up. Now there is a dowel pin like we'll look at in a minute, but the dowel pin doesn't really do the job of centering this seal correctly. The thing is, if you don't get the seal centered on the block, you're going to eventually have a leak, or you may even have a leak right away. So I want to show you the procedure that I have adopted over the years that actually has worked really well in keeping this seal from leaking. Let's take a look at the back of the block and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is the back of our crankshaft on the one-piece rear main seal block. You've got a dowel pin here and you have a stud on this side, and then you've got some bolts that go in this housing. You got one long bolt for this side and two of these smaller bolts that are going to go here and here. Now these are a special linked bolt. They are specific to this cover, so make sure you got the right bolts for this. When you take it apart, hang on to these and set them aside because they're important, as well as that dowel pin and that stud. When we strip the block and clean this, we pull all these out, but I've got them back in there. Now what I recommend here, guys, your gasket that goes on here, it's going to go on the stud there, and then the big hole goes over the dowel. The way that I like to do it is I use gasket sealer on this gasket. The nice thing about the Felpro kits is they actually come with a little tube of RTV in the gasket set. So get some RTV on your gasket. I will always just take and put this on the block. You never want to put this on without sealer on it because you don't want this leaking. So we just take, and that slides on our stud here, and this goes right over the dowel pin, and just kind of get that gasket on there, and you can let that set up there for a while if you need to. I'm going to walk away for about 15 minutes. For you it'll be about 2 seconds because I'm going to edit it, but I'm going to leave that on there and let it set up a little bit before I actually put my seal cover on. Okay, we're back now. It's been about 15-20-ish minutes. Now we got our seal cover. Now also on your seal cover, make sure the old gasket material is completely cleaned off of here. This old gasket, this gasket here, has a tendency to stick to this cover because at the factory they put sealer on this side. So make sure this cover is good and clean. Now if you look inside this seal housing here, you got these three dumples. You got one here, there's another one there, and there's another one there. I apologize for that light, it's my motion detector. So you got these three dumples. Those are there for a reason. Some guys will put the seal in the housing first, and I've done that, but I've learned over the years not to do that because it doesn't really center up. This dowel pin and this stud doesn't really do a great job of centering this seal. So what you want to do, go ahead and get gasket sealer on this gasket because you want gasket between sealer between this surface and the gasket also. So I'm just going to dab this sealer on here. Okay, so now we've got our sealer on the gasket that mates the housing to the block. I do not recommend putting that seal on dry. Over the years I have had numerous engines that leaked back here, and they actually leaked between this gasket and this housing. It wasn't the rear main seal that was leaking. So I don't recommend that you put this on without sealer. Now we're going to go ahead and put our housing on without the seal in it, and I'll show you how to put the seal in here in a bit once we center this up. So just go ahead and get that on the stud there, and you're also going to get this side right up on that dowel pin. So now we're up against the block, and you want to get your bolts in here and get them started, but you do not want to tighten them yet. So we're going to run these down. I'm going to get our two lower bolts in here, and there's also a 1/4 20 nut that goes on that stud. These three bolts here take a 3/8 socket, And this one here takes a 7/16 on the nut that goes on here. But you want to get all these on here. Go ahead and get the nut on. Again, do not tighten these bolts yet. Just get them finger tight. And you want these bolts pretty close to being tight, but we're going to tighten them up and we're going to back it off. We want to be able to have movement on that seal like that. You can see it. The trick to getting this thing centered is we are going to take feeler gauges and we're going to place them between the crankshaft. Now this is a 2/1000 feeler gauge. We're going to place them between that little dimple and the crank, just like that. We're going to put another one here. And just make sure that those are in there between the crank and that dimple. Okay, they'll stay in there. Now I'm going to grab a third 2/1000 feeler gauge right in there between that dimple. Okay, so I've got feeler gauges under each one of those dimples. And then I'm going to simply snug these up. Then we just snug these bolts up. And you'll see as I snug this up, these feeler gauges up here might move a little bit. But I've got a gauge in all three positions, and we're just simply going to snug these up. So we've got the three smaller ones snug. Now your 7/16, your 1/4-20 nut over here with your 7/16 socket. So we've got all of these snugged up now. And we can take these gauges and we can slide them in there. They are sliding under each one of these positions. And if you can, once you get this tightened up, if all three of these gauges are sliding, got clearance there, sliding in there, sliding in on the bottom one. So we've got clearance on all 3 points. That is going to assure that that housing is centered within 2/1000. If you get that centered within 2/1000 of an inch, you're good to go. And what you'll notice is if you take a larger feeler gauge in here, like a 3 or 4, it doesn't fit. It's not going in under any one of these. The manufacturer says this needs to be within 5/1000. So I'm going to take a 5/1000 feeler gauge and I'm going to put it in there, and it is not going. It will not slide in there under any of these points. So we're less than 5/1000 of an inch at all points, and our housing is tightened up onto the block. What that tells me is that seal housing is now centered. I got it tightened up. Now we can take and put our seal on. Now for putting your seal in, this can be kind of tricky, but what I recommend here is Velcro has this plastic sleeve that goes in here, and this is actually very effective at helping you get this seal in. Some of the sets, they will come with this sleeve in it. This one didn't, but I save these plastic sleeves, and that helps me get over the lip over the crankshaft, and then we just very carefully put our seal in. So some guys will use a seal driver or whatever for this, and that's fine, but I just take and put this right on to that crankshaft, the back rear crankshaft flange, using my seal, my plastic sleeve here, and that is going to allow the seal to go on. Now you want to kind of push this in evenly. It's going to want to caulk in both directions on you, and you want this seal to go in evenly. You can actually push this in by hand. It takes some effort, but you can do it. This seal needs to be flush here. There are several ways to do this. You can use a seal driver cup. Unfortunately, I don't have one here. I do like to use those. You can use some type of a sleeve. This is actually a ring compressor cone, but believe it or not, it's actually very effective at getting this sleeve in. So you want to be careful here. We're just going to gently tap around here. You want to make sure you tap that in there evenly. Don't get too crazy with it. Flush all the way around there. And that seal is now installed, and that is one-piece rear main seal installation, and it's going to ensure that you're not going to have any leaks here if that housing is centered. If that housing is off, it's almost guaranteed you're going to have a rear main seal leak here. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it helps you out. It takes a little bit of extra time, but it doesn't take near as much time as removing the transmission and changing that seal on the lift. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I will talk to you very soon, I promise.